Welcome, students. This is our second attempt at the flipped classroom. This flipped classroom will be 3 separate lessons, so feel free to revisit this many times throughout the next couple days. Before we begin, make sure you have your notebook, a pen, some tape, some index card, and a highlighter. Reconstruction sounds like a pretty boring topic, but I think this will set the course of the entire course. Why don't you take a second to visit that website and read and explore some of the material on Reconstruction, and feel free to use that website for your vocabulary or any other information you need to do. It's better than a textbook. This is a story about federal, state, and local governments, about presidents and sheriffs and northerners and southerners, scalawags and carpetbaggers, blacks, whites. This is a story about everyday people on the ground whose names are mostly lost to history because of the fight of the Civil War. This encompasses politics, gender, economics, and constitutional law. It involves a confrontation between black hopes and white values that structured the Reconstruction period. Okay, awesome students. You know the drill. We're going to create our cover page, our table of contents, and we're going to do the know, don't know card. Instead of skimming the book this time, use the words in front of you to create your know, don't know card. Read the directions for at least 3 of the don't know, circle those terms, and be able to come to class knowing those concepts. I suggest you write those concepts on the back. How did you make out on your cover sheet and index card? Feel free to wait on the cover sheet but not on the index card. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is our post-Civil War map. This is probably going to be your page 1. So take a second to label that page post-Civil War map, 1865. Cut out your map, put it on that page, and create a map from 1865. Here's the trick. I want you to distinguish between Union states, Confederate states, and territories. Do this any way you want. I suggest you take 3 different colored pencils and draw a border. Feel free to look at some of the examples in my class. The next slide does have a map that I got from the internet, but feel free to use any other map. I want you to label every state, every territory, and distinguish between free states or Union states, Confederate states, and territories. Good luck. This will take you a little while. Here's a sample map that you could use. Again, don't write out the states on your map. Just use the 2-letter abbreviation. Example, New York would be NY. Texas would be TX. And you don't worry about coloring in the map. Just use a border. Just make it look neat. The goal here is that you know United States geography. You know what the country was all about after 1865 and the Civil War. Welcome back, students. So you've done your index card. You're thinking about your cover sheet. You probably got a little snack. And now this is the prelude assignment before we really learn about Reconstruction. What was the costs of war after the Civil War, the most bloodiest war in our country's history, the most deaths, the most destruction to property, and it all happened on American soil. Okay, there's a few things we have to do to set up this lesson. First, label a new page. Costs of Civil War. All the way at the top. This is probably your page 2. Below that, neatly create a grid with 8 cells, or 2 columns going down and 4 rows across. Take your time and do this really neat. Then, in the upper left-hand corner of each cell or slide, number them to 8. Below is an example of what one of the slides might look like. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to view each slide and try to get the essence or capture the main point of each slide. It might be something, a word that pops into your head. It might be an emotion. All of this is fine. After that idea or emotion comes into your brain and you write that down, then take some notes and write some facts down. I've done the first one for you. Example, slide 1, property damage. What comes into my mind when I see it is destroyed buildings. And now I'm going to take some notes on the slide. War damaged many buildings and destroyed the South capital of Virginia. This is slide number 2. Look at the slide. Try to come up with a title for this slide. What emotion do you see? And take some notes on this slide. This is slide number 3, and it's a picture of a southern plantation. Again, come up with a title of your slide. What emotions or what does the image bring to you? And take some notes. This will be the last slide that I give you assistance on. Good luck. This is the last slide. Great job, students. You have just done a huge amount of work. So now when you come to class, we could probably do something more interesting than listening to me lecture. So at the end of this, you should have completed your Know, Don't Know index card. You've looked up 3 concepts that you didn't know, probably on the internet or in a textbook in my class. You're thinking about your cover sheet. Feel free to use 6 of the concepts from your index card or anything else that you researched, hopefully on schmoop.com. And you've done the first activity, which was called Costs of War. Okay, see you in class.